To solve this rational equation, we need to find the least common denominator, and in order to do that, we're going to need to factor out all the denominators first. And if we factor x squared minus 11x plus 30, we need two numbers that multiply to 30, and that will add to be negative 11, and what works out is negative 5 and negative 6. The x minus 6 is factored completely, so it is actually considered prime. The 9x minus 45, we can factor out a GCF of 9, which leaves us with x minus 5. And let me just rewrite our whole equation, but with the denominators in factored form. Minus 1 over x minus 6 is already factored. When we're looking for our least common denominator here, let me start to build our least common denominator. We need to have an x minus 5. And that's to cover this x minus 5, and at the same time it's going to cover that one. We don't need to put it in there twice because it happens in two different denominators. I'm just going to squeeze these here one on top of the other. X minus 6 we're going to need, and that takes care of this x minus 6, and at the same time this x minus 6, and then we're also going to need a 9 in there, and that's going to take care of the 9 right there. This is our least common denominator, and it's meant to be all one multiplied by the other one. So x minus 5 times x minus 6 times 9. Then if that's our least common denominator, we have to look to see what to multiply for each one. Well, x minus 5 times x minus 6 is just missing the 9, so I'm going to multiply by 9 over 9. The x minus 6 is missing the 9 and times the x minus 5, so times 9 times x minus 5, the top and the bottom. And then if we look at the last one, 1 over 9 times x minus 5, well, what's missing is the x minus 6, so I'm going to multiply by x minus 6 on the top and the bottom. Then what that leaves us with, if I multiply those two numerators together, the 3 times 9, we get 27 over, I'm going to leave this all factored out, 9 times x minus 5 times x minus 6. I just wrote the 9 in the front. Minus 1 times 9x times negative 5, which is going to be minus 9x minus 45. Oops. All over 9 times x minus 5 times x minus 6 is equal to x minus 6, multiplying here, over 9 times x minus 5 times x minus 6. And at this point, that's when we could essentially cancel out the denominators because we have them to be all exactly the same, and then our goal is to solve the equation that we have in the numerator, which is 27. You see how I put this in parentheses because I do have to distribute the negative to both, so we get minus 9x plus 45 is equal to x minus 6. Let's combine the like terms. And here this is a linear equation, so we're going to be able to get all the x's on one side and everything else without and isolate our x value. But here let's just combine the like terms first, so the 27 and the 45, and then on the left that will give us negative 9x plus 72, and that's still equal to x minus 6. And I'm going to rewrite the equation right here. Negative 9x plus 72 is equal to x minus 6. To group all of the x's together, I'm going to go ahead and subtract x from both sides. Well, actually, I'm going to, just to keep it positive, I'll go ahead and add 9x to both sides instead. And at the same time, that means if I add 9x to both sides, it means I'm moving the x's over to the right. And then if I move the non-x terms over to the left, that means I got to move the negative 6 over. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And that allows me to cancel here, which leaves us with 78 is equal to 10x. And our last step is going to be to divide. Alright, so here I'm going to divide this by 10, and then I'm going to divide that by 10. That gives us x is equal to 78 over 10, and that does actually reduce because both terms are divisible by 5. So I could write that as 39. I'm sorry, both terms are divisible by 2. 39 over 5. If I wanted to write it as a fraction, and I could divide it out if I wanted to get the answer as a decimal. So amidst all this work here, I just want to focus in on what the actual answer is. So for our original equation, the answer is 39 over 5.